The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances.
Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Eza Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Y'all know this space is where stories are shared with purpose and conversations that actually give back. Tonight's guest is someone I've genuinely been excited to talk to because this is one of those stories that didn't start in a boardroom. It started at a kickback. Our guest took a few handwritten questions, a holiday gathering, and a moment of connection between friends and turned it into a nationally played card game and growing brand. She is the founder of Pull-Up Cards, a game designed to celebrate Black collegiate culture, shared experiences, and honestly, real conversations in an era where people barely talk to each other anymore. She's been featured in different media outlets, built a business as a solopreneur, and created something that isn't just entertainment. It's community. And y'all know I love community. So tonight, we're not just talking about a card game. We talk about entrepreneurship, identity, risk, Black joy, and what happens when you actually act on an idea instead of just saying, somebody should do that. So everybody in the chat, everybody out there in the media land, show some love and welcome the Liz Renee to a frank conversation.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
It's an absolute honor to have you. It's an absolute honor to have you. I wanted, before we get started, hey y'all. So guess what? So today, this interview is gonna be a little bit different. All right. So she has, that's like I said, that's the founder of the card game Pull Up. So we're gonna play a little bit of a mini drinking game here. So grab whatever you want to grab, your libations, your sips, and pull up one time if in fact I nod my head at anything she says. If you watch my interviews, you know I'm a nodder. I'm a yes. And then pull up two times if you know for a fact that what she says just resonates with you. All right. You ready to get into this?
All right, I'm ready.
All right. So now I read that Pope started from a holiday party with friends and a few note cards that you created. You know, at what moment did you realize like this might actually be a business?
That's a really good question because in that moment, I love how you said earlier when someone tells you to do something and it's like, yeah, somebody should do that. That's how I kind of felt about Pull-Up as a concept when I came up with those note cards. I had no idea that I would become an entrepreneur. I had no interest, but I think I started to realize that this thing could take off after I sold my first 100 decks on Etsy. I started out on Etsy. I didn't have an official website. And I remember Etsy shows you how many people buy your product, but also other people can see it. And I was so nervous about people seeing how many cards I sold and just saying like, oh, it's not going to be a high number. And then within a matter of days, we hit 100 sales. And I was like, okay, maybe something is here. So that's when I felt like, okay, maybe this thing will take off.
I mean, a lot of people, you know, they have ideas at parties, you know, because everybody has those little side conversations, especially when you're networking, right? But you follow through. You know, you start off with Etsy and then it expanded. Talk to us about that growth and expansion phase and, you know, what it meant for you.
Yeah, so I am someone, it may take a while to get me to be convinced in as far as like doing an idea or making a concept a reality. But once I'm convinced, there's no stopping me. I'm going to see it through. So with that being said, the process was interesting. Like I started out with these 20 note cards, but of course it takes more than that to make a card game. So coming up with the questions and ideas were easy, and then categorizing those ideas into different categories and topics for the game, thinking about how different categories would be played slightly differently. So for example, like you were saying, I'm a pull-up every time that I see you nod. Those are our happy hour questions. But then when we have our college broke questions, you have to drink once if this applies, drink twice if this applies, and so on and so forth. And then from there, I had to do my own research, like manufacturers. I didn't know that using international manufacturers for card games was so common. I thought that I could just find someone in DC to do it, but domestic manufacturers are a little bit more pricey. So just doing a lot of trial and error, trying to figure things out, dealing with the timeline of working with an international manufacturer. The cards are not going to arrive when you think they're going to arrive. And then finally figuring out how to promote this online. Social media is free, and that's a way that I've been able to reach a lot of people so far. So yeah, that was kind of the process from concept to inception.
So that I'm realizing from what you're saying is that, one, I mean, kudos to you for taking that step out and saying, all right, well, I can't get it around me, so let me go further out and find something, and let me just pivot inside of these moments. It takes special people to not get bogged down by things like that, and actually say, hey, y'all, I'm going to keep going. But I also recognize in what you said that it's a certain level of difficulty, a certain level of hurdles that that people don't really want to work past, right?
Yes.
But you seem like what you're saying is that you're headstrong, and you won't let anything pull you back. I did watch a prior interview, and one of those I just want to say this. So I did also attend a PWI in undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
So we had AC. I do want to we had AC.
Like that's one of the questions, y'all.
Yeah, like for those who don't, I was like, man, that is interesting.
That's
wow. Dang. But I'm grateful now. Like it took, but I would say, I think this, right? Because I feel like I gotta slide this in there. I don't even think I really attended a PWI. Legitimately, I attended what I like to call a commuter school.
Okay.
Because there's PWIs, it's HBCUs, and there's this thing in the middle that I believe that we all got to that has to be now included. It's called commuter schools. What that means is a lot of different cultures, a lot of different places, but it's not primarily white institutions, right? It's literally.
Where'd you go?
Huh?
Where'd you go?
I went to the University of Texas at Arlington.
University of Texas at Arlington. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like it was a hodgepodge of just so many different cultures that you'll be like, you would think it's a PWI until you're like, oh wow, this is like you see who all is there, but it's amazing. Like I feel like that needs to be there has to be a third category. I'm trying to advocate for that. But anyway. But you said that you still had the Black collegiate experience, right? When you were attending your PWI. What parts of that experience were you trying to preserve with the game?
Ooh, I love that question. Yeah, because I feel like there is oftentimes a misconception around like Black experiences at PWIs, where if you're Black and you go to a PWI, you don't hang around Black people. In fact, you don't like Black people. You hate yourself, and you're lost, and you don't understand your Black identity. But in fact, people have their different reasons for choosing the schools that they attended. And as for me, I went to high school in the Metro Atlanta area. So a lot of my teachers had gone to HBCUs, and I had visited HBCUs. I had the opportunity to go to UGA. I had a Pell Grant. I graduated with barely any debt. And as a first generation college student, that was really important for me at the time. But as far as the experiences that I'm trying to preserve with the game, in addition to that preservation, it's really about bridging the gap in Black experiences at HBCUs, at PWIs, at commuter schools, to remind everyone that at the end of the day, being a Black college student, let alone being a Black college graduate, is still a privilege, and it's still, we're still in the minority. Like, those numbers are growing. I think the stats say that just over a quarter of Black Americans have a 4-year degree, and more have had some college experience. And so I am just trying to preserve that legacy of, the fact that we went to school, let's celebrate it. And it's also funny because we went to school and we had these experiences that we romanticize in college. Some of it was rough. So to your point, like, did you have a dorm room that didn't have AC or had roaches or rodents? And it's funny because in the moment you hate it and you're going to the administration and complaining about it. But by the time you graduate, you're laughing about it and reminiscing about it. And now you're bonded through these shared experiences. Or just looking at somebody across campus and seeing another Black person and giving them the nod, like just these small but meaningful things that all culminate your experience. And so that's what I'm trying to preserve, but more importantly, trying to capture so we can all focus on what we have in common rather than dividing ourselves and trying to build a hierarchy of who's better or worse for where they attended college. Because once again, it was a privilege to be able to attend and graduate from college in itself as a Black person in the United States.
I love that, man. I want to pivot just a little bit, but still underneath the same umbrella. You once said that Black joy is a form of resistance. When did you personally realize that?
That's a really good question. And I feel like that was a phrase that became popular, especially I was hearing it a lot, not only during the pandemic, but during the Black Lives Matter movement. And for me personally, outside of my 5 to 9 of working on Pull-Up Card Game, my 9 to 5 is actually in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I remember during the Black Lives Matter movement, and there were a lot of protests happening, and me being in the DEI space, there were a lot of people coming to me asking me, what do I do? What can I do to be better? How can I educate myself on these topics? How can I address systemic racism? How can I be a part of the change in the world? And to be honest, it was very heavy. It was very overwhelming. I'm a bit of an empath. So like I take my work seriously. And if I'm not doing work that's actually making a change, like that's going to weigh on me. But then I also realized, like, what do I need in this moment as a Black person? I have all these people, some who look like me and some who don't, asking me about what to do, but what do I need? And I think that was when I started to hear this phrase of Black joy is a form of resistance. There is a part of the fight that is ugly, that is intense, that takes a long time, but there's also something about the individual act of leaning into joy to avoid burnout and to sustain the work that is equally important. And so that's when I realized I have something, it's just a card game, but it's still addressing a problem, and it's bringing joy to different spaces in times of peril and in times of change and in times where, if you feel like you may not be able to have control over the things around you, but I can, grab a drink, pull up and open up this deck of cards and laugh and connect with some other people over our shared college experiences.
I mean, you said a word right in there, right? Because leaning into joy is in fact something that I find myself doing with my 5 to 9, which is this, because I really do find I personally take joy in not just connecting with the people that I'm interviewing, but also in finding out that, oh, hey, people are actually going back and helping out the charities and nonprofits that are mentioned on the show. That right there, like, it just lifts my spirit, because it makes me feel as if, oh, okay, well, through these sit downs and through sharing the platform, people are being helped. And I've always had a spirit of service. I think that's for what kept me in education for so long. And with you working in diversity, equity, and inclusion, I feel like you have to also have a sense of, like, building community, and so it's really intriguing to me. I want to get into the challenges of being an entrepreneur while
Mm,
also balancing your work
mhm.
in DEI, while also being a black woman in the DMV. You know, talk to me about how you maneuver this. Talk to me about the oh, this is getting heavy. How do you reset, refocus? How do you keep yourself in a state of, all right, this is my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose.
I'm not gonna lie, that has been one of the most difficult parts of this journey. I launched Po Up in 2020, so November of this year will make 6 years of business, and I think that people have a very glamorous viewpoint of entrepreneurs at time that it's not always rooted in reality and is more so rooted in excitement around what could be. We look at people like Tabitha Brown or like the CEO of the Lip Bar or just like people who have made products and they're in big retail stores and they're on Shark Tank and things like that, or they're selling out and they're going viral on TikTok Shop. And sometimes we only focus on that path, and that's the path that we want. But my path has been very slow and steady wins the race. Like, we've had successes along the way, and I don't want to dim my light in any way. However, with to your point about how has it been balancing all the other hats that I'm wearing, just being a black woman in this, under this administration, but also being in the DEI space, and then also being an entrepreneur and also being a wife and all of these things. It's been a lot. And actually, because I'm in the DEI space, I've been impacted by 2 layoffs since having my card game. One of them was recent. So I was one of the 300,000 Black women who were displaced from work last year. I hear those numbers are actually higher, and the 300,000 is only reflective of like the summer. So a lot of people throughout those experiences will look at me and say, "Oh, you were laid off, but you're okay. You have a card game." Yes, I have a card game. It's a $20 product. And you have to move a lot of $20 products in order to say, I'm good. I don't need a full-time job. I don't need benefits. I don't need a job to help me pay for healthcare or to match my 401k. And once again, it goes back to that ideal mindset of, well, like all these other people have had such great successes, so that'll be your path. And I think just coming to terms with it's going to take a while before I get to that point. And sometimes dealing with that question of like, okay, is this something that I maybe need to pivot away from when you're not having that kind of success over the years? But then moments like this, when people find you and, set up time to do an interview, or, moments when you do have that great vendor event and people are excited about your product, or moments like now we're doing a game show concept in the DMV and we're having people come out to pull up live. And so that's what kind of keeps hope alive. But every day I'm battling whether can I keep going? Do I need to hone in on one over the other? Every single day I'm asking myself those questions.
Well, I just want you to know that I'm in your corner.
Thank you.
And I'm rooting for you, speaking nothing but life, peace, and blessings over
Thank
everything
you.
that you touch. And I know for a fact that, hey, look, it takes, you said 6 years in November, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes 10 years to become an overnight sensation.
Mm-hmm.
10 years. So
Yep.
we in this. And
Yes.
because it's funny that you say that. I started doing these interviews in 2020. So so it's like, hey, takes 6 years. It takes 10 years. What was I want to say to say this to you as well. When did you get to the DMV?
2014.
Wow. Okay. Where's the best mumbo sauce?
Oh gosh. So I am going to say that the best mumbo sauce outside of that, like just a carry out, would be Capital City's mumbo sauce, and they sell it now nationwide. I believe that's the name of the Black owned brand. I believe it's Capital City. They even have it in some airports. They have it in some restaurants. Let me make sure I'm not mixing up the brand name. Yep, Capital City Mumbo Sauce is the first thing that pops up.
Okay.
I am going to say, as an entrepreneur, and I've been able to hear from them and hear about their journey, they have the best mumbo sauce.
All right, we're gonna I'm gonna make sure that I will get some. Because I'm still looking for the best mumbo sauce now. I'm just being very honest with you. Been out here for a couple years. I'm gonna be like, oh, mumbo. It's just everybody. Hey, that mumbo sauce. Oh, all right, that's next.
I mean, I this is gonna sound horrible, and I probably am saying too much. I don't eat a lot of food that would require mumbo sauce. Like, I'm not ordering a whole bunch of fried wings, and when I go to a carryout, I either want straight up Chinese food or I want like breakfast. Like, I'll go to Tony's Breakfast and I just want like actual breakfast food. I'm not getting anything for lunchtime or dinner time. I have a very weird palate when it comes to like carryouts.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. Somebody just literally mentioned Tony's to me a couple days ago, and I'm 99.9% sure that they're going to be watching this interview. So when they see this, I want them to know I gotta go. They said it's not like it's good. And oddly enough, I have had half of their sandwich before. I said, okay, this is pretty solid.
Yeah, you gotta get in and get out, carry it out. It's not room really to sit, but
right.
That's how it is.
I love my favorite, like, since I've been out here, I'm not gonna lie to you, my favorite Chinese food spot, and man, I gotta go. I'm going back. I know Howard China. Shout out to Howard China.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Out here, yeah, that's the one for me. To be very honest with y'all, look, I don't know. Sometimes you just need that. Hey, folk, I need about 3 of them with the fried rice, with the shrimp fried rice on the side, man. That's what I need, and I'm gonna do my thing with that. But we have reached the point where we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the Miss Liz Renee. Commercial.
WSAN Radio, the soul of America and beyond. Join DJ Ron G and the WSAN crew every day for the Ron G Morning Show, Funk Friday, and Gospel Brunch Sunday. From local heroes to national guests, WSAN Radio connects you to the pulse of our community. One song, one story, one soul at a time. WSAN Radio, where music, motivation, and movement come together. Streaming live, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and WSANradio.com.
Got me together with this 2-piece. It's the good leggings, no see-through business.
And we are back with the founder of Pull Up Cards, the Miss Liz Renee. Thank you to all of our sponsors. If in fact you'd like to advertise with us, please make sure you guys shoot us a message, and we will gladly host your commercials right here to our 475,628,901 amazing listeners in the audience today. Yep. So you got to speak it into existence.
Absolutely.
All right. So, I told y'all I listened to prior interviews. I just had a quick question for you. At what fraternity or would you let your son join again? You want to know? You're real fast, you know.
I mean, my son would definitely have to be a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, given that I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
When'd you cross?
Spring 13 at the University of Georgia, Zeta Psi.
Ooh, what number are you?
33.
Oh, that's out. that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That is what's up. I myself am a 5. I crossed spring 11. I'm the centennial. Oh, you centennial. Oh,
So we got that in common.
I'm a centennial as well. Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Shout out to centennials in this thing. For those who don't know, that's when your organization turns 100 and they bring members through. You're called a centennial member because of the fact that you came through during the 100th year. And man, it has been a blessing to be a part of it. So how has being a part of the sorority impacted, not just you personally, but you professionally, as far as you working in the DEI space or pull-up cards?
Oh, there are deltas everywhere. In my profession, if you see a hardworking woman, 99.9% of the time, she is a soror. Especially when I was at DC public schools, our chief of my office was a soror. I had so many colleagues who were sorors. In the card game industry, there are quite a few sorors who have card games. The founder of Culture Tags, Unique Jones Gibson. She pledged, I believe, at Bowie State University. There's a card game called Code Red that was created by a soror who pledged at Florida State. So, and honestly, like sorors are always ready to support other sorors in their business. So I've been to alumni chapter events to sell my card game, and sorors have supported there. Or if I'm out on the yard, or if I'm out at homecoming and people see, oh, I didn't know you were a member, or hey, I've seen you online, I realize you're a member, let me support. So it's definitely been supportive in those ways, from mentors to people who I look up to my peers who I work with everywhere. And I'm sure it's the same for you.
Oh man, most definitely, and it has been a blessing to watch that. Oddly enough, I do want to make sure that I pay a little bit of homage to the ladies to the soul stepping divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, because of the fact that 2 of my sisters, they are deltas, as well as a few of my cousins, and when I first entered into the education space, oddly enough, one of the first people to help give me a leg up and get into education was a soror. So I've always noticed that no matter what stage of life I'm in, if something positive is going to take place, a Delta is literally right there making sure that change happens. So
absolutely, 100%.
You call DC Black excellence in all its forms. What did you see here that you hadn't seen before? Because that is a
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Well, I mean, this is tough because I have had the privilege of living all up and down the East Coast. I'm actually from Connecticut. My friends make fun of me because they're like, you're not from Connecticut. I'm like, y'all, I lived there till I was like 13, 14. But then I had the privilege of living in the Metro Atlanta area. I went to high school in Clayton County, Georgia, went to college in Georgia at the University of Georgia. And then I came to the Chocolate City. And I think when I said DC is truly Black excellence in all of its forms, what I meant by that is, one, sometimes when we have this conversation about Black excellence, it's only talked about in proximity to whiteness. Like, if I'm doing things that white rich folks do, then it's Black excellence. But no, Black excellence looks like a lot of different things. And if you are a Black person at any stage of your life, regardless of educational status, regardless of income status, and you are breaking barriers and you are your ancestors' wildest dreams, that is Black excellence. And I feel like DC, the history is so rich, and just the people here, the community, the inspiration, like birds of a feather flock together. I truly feel like DC is one of those cities where, you know, everybody that was at the top of their class and who was like SGA president, they all graduate and come to DC to either work on the Hill or to work at some cool company or whatever that happens to be based here. And then they stay. And then also, I would be remiss not to mention the people who grew up here and, you know, the people who have grown up around all of this rich history. My husband is an educator in DC public schools. He's at Duke Ellington School of the Arts. Like the history there, you got Dave Chappelle, you got Ari Lennox, you have so many great people. And even though DC is clearly so central to Black history, to the civil rights movement, I think culturally right now we're in a time where DC kind of gets overlooked. Like people don't necessarily talk about DC culture as much as they talk about maybe Atlanta or Houston or New York or Chicago. But yeah, DC, it can't be slept on. And I'm so grateful that I'm here. That's why I haven't moved since 2014. That's why I'm still here.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I do feel like, and this is me because as a deep South Q, right? I do feel like the way in which people interact with their fraternity or sorority is different out here versus the further south you go.
Okay,
right?
like in what way?
Like it's not frowned upon as much to be strolling during brunch. I'm just saying.
Oh,
like,
in Texas versus DC.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you could be down there. You'd be like, oh, you know, you might not have no.
I think you could get away with a lot of things, but I see what you mean.
Yeah. You know what? You're right.
They're like, I would expect nothing less. But yeah, you're right. I think DC, you didn't say this explicitly, but DC can sometimes be a little bourgeoisie, a little uppity, a little stand on the wall, you know, type of situation. And some would say there's a time and a place for everything, but once again, you're a Q. There's always a time and a place to hop. So
this is true. There's always a time and a place to hop. What? I was in church. Are you kidding me? We was praising the Lord and started setting it out. But no, I speaking of time and place, right? I gotta pivot to this point really quickly. How important is environment to entrepreneurship?
Ooh, extremely important, because half, if not more, of your success in entrepreneurship is tied to your access to opportunity, your access to investments, your access to scale your business concept, and your access to the education to understand what that looks like, from filing your taxes correctly. And like my accountant, I found through a pitch competition I did on Revolt TV, I met the founder of Mess in a Bottle, who is based in Baltimore. And I asked her, who do you use to do your taxes? And she gave me her accountant's information. Just small things like that seem so insignificant, but it makes all of the difference. Imagine being in an environment where you are truly one of a few entrepreneurs, or one, maybe the only one, and having to rely on, you know, people say just Google everything. But we went to college. We know how Google works. You can't just pull up everything. You got to make sure you're using credible sources, and you got to make sure you're not just pulling up someone who's calling themselves an expert who isn't. So I think it's a lot. And just speaking of equity, like it doesn't mean it's impossible, but someone that doesn't have an environment or a community around them, and it doesn't have to be your family. You don't have to be born in it. It doesn't have to be because you went to a certain college, but just like having that proximity to people who have had success. Sometimes it's hard to experience success when you're not seeing it around you. And it doesn't mean it's impossible, but it can be more difficult. Whereas if you have an environment where I have multiple friends who are entrepreneurs. One of my best friends, she has her own candle company and perfume company. There's just so many people I know that are leaning into entrepreneurship. And then now I have people that I can ask questions about how to navigate the different things that entrepreneurs go through, as opposed to having to go it alone or having to over rely on social media to gain that understanding and access.
Solid. You're absolutely right. Give me this.
Mm-hmm.
In 20 years, right? What do you hope pull-up cards represents in Black culture?
Ooh, that is a great question. I love your questions. 20 years. Wow, I'll be 54. Ooh, I hope that pull-up card game is one of those evergreen products where, because I have an edition that's dedicated to college experiences, because I have an edition that's dedicated to being Black in the workplace, those are topics that are always going to be relevant regardless of the generation. So I hope that pull-up card game is a legacy that can live on, and the new class of college students and college graduates can continue to pass down this game and enjoy this game. And some of the same topics, we're still going to be talking about it, unfortunately, rodents and roaches and broken AC and
people using start. Man, people having parties inside the little kitchen area in the dorm room.
Lining up your cabinets with empty liquor bottles, drinking jungle juice out of a bin at a party. Like, these things are not going to be lost. These things continue. I played this game with people who crossed in the 70s, people who attended college in the 70s, and it's still relevant. And honestly, they have the best stories. So that's what I hope. And I hope that I'm able to just be proud of what I built and say, wow, I did that. I did that starting in my 20s, going into my 30s. I took a chance and I had fun with it.
All right. Rapid fire. You ready?
Yes.
HBCU homecoming or wedding reception?
HBCU homecoming.
Wine festival?
Wedding reception. I mean, I had a great wedding, though. I won't lie.
I love oh my God. I love a good wedding reception. Like, I will never forget. I emceed two of my friends. One's at SG Row, one's at Zeta. They got married. I emceed their wedding. Though absolutely, to me it was amazing.
I wish I had known you were an MC. I would have had you. I just got married last April.
Oh man, you could have hit me.
Just missed you.
What? Absolutely. And I would have. And the thing is, like, I'm so. I don't even know how to tell people this. Like, I would have did it off the strength.
Oh, dang.
You the Ross? Hit me. I got you. Wine festival or game night?
I have to say game night, but I was thinking about saying wine festival, not gonna lie.
Why you switch? I'm like, now I'm curious. You got it.
I feel like as a game maker, I have to say game night, and also game nights are more intimate. The older I get, the less patience I have for festival culture, the long lines, the wait in, the heat, the bathrooms, the porta potties.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I will say this: if y'all have if y'all decide to have a little kickback session. Listen, I'm there. All right, you can in the DMV. You can hit me. I'm there.
Okay.
And I never come empty-handed.
Hey.
All right. Introvert or extrovert?
Ooh. Introvert.
And you make card games to connect people.
I know. It's just like everybody has their Sasha Fierce, just like Beyonce has their Sasha Fierce. You got to turn it on. But it's so funny. My husband always gives me grief because he is so extroverted. And when he met me, I was leaning into being extroverted. I was facilitating a session at his school. And he's like, I love that Liz. And every time I get up on a mic and talk, he's like, yes, that's my wife. But then he also sees me on the couch, just like silent, watching my reality TV shows, just like in silence. Like, I'm someone that needs to recharge. So, I mean, people don't always say they see it. People, I think for the most part that I'm extroverted, but it just really depends on who I'm around and how I'm feeling.
I respect that. I'm definitely like, it's so funny. Like, I'm really, really outgoing. If you put me in the setting and you like, hey, take the spotlight and can you do something with it? I'm like, yeah, for sure, I got you. Hey, what's up, guys? But if my partners, they know or he gonna kick back on that couch and not say a word for a while.
Yep. And it's okay, and everything
And-
is okay.
And it's
And that's why
okay.
in life, when you find a partner, it can't always be you on 1,000. Y'all have to be comfortable in silence together.
Oh, yes, Jesus. So, y'all hear this beautiful marriage advice right here? Like
Comfortable in silence. Like, it's so funny. One of my friends was with me. She stayed over with us over the weekend, and I was like, oh, this is good. You get to see like a boring married weekend. Like, we not doing nothing. We relaxing. We came back from date night around 9:30. Like,
man, look, if we back from date night around 9:30, let me tell you how lit it is in the house. We hey, listen, we finna cut this anime on. We finna sit on this couch. We finna veg out. That's it. We just
there we go.
kicking
There
it.
we go.
All right. One word to describe your younger self.
Zany.
2 words to describe your current self.
2 words to describe. Optimistic and hopeful.
3 words to describe your future self.
Boss lady gang.
That's the sunrise. That's the sun. I want to get into the reason why I do this, which is philanthropy, garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today, and why is the cause that it faces so important to you?
Yes, so I would like to spotlight the JCS Project. They are an organization that creates HBCU care packages for current students. And so they curate donations, financial donations or physical donations. And if you remember when you were in college, there were certain kids that would get something in the mail from their parents. And it's like, wow, I wish that was me. They provide this for students at HBCUs. And so a portion of every sale, a portion of every online sale of POAP card game goes directly to the JCS Project. And we've been partnering with them for the last few years right now.
Man, that is absolutely amazing. And I want to give a big shout out to the JCS Project. I had the honor of being able to interview her some years back.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's like, for me, it's just full circle. I hit her up before the start. I was like, hey, you want to tune in tonight? Trust me. So y'all, for those of y'all, if you don't know, you won't know, please make sure that if you have it's not just about monetary donations, but time, energy, effort that you can provide to the JCS Project. If you're under the sound of our voices watching it live or down in the future, please throw anything that you could quite possibly donate to the JCS Project. Ms. Renee, thank you so much for your time, your energy, your effort. Before we close out, we'd like to close with words of wisdom for the next generation. So, because we've touched on so many different topics, I do want to close with words of wisdom for those who are in that first year of business, who are dealing with that feeling of it's not going, and they're at that edge of I should let this go. What words of wisdom would you have for them?
Yes, I would say remember that in business, it's not about everyone believing in your idea. It's about that one other person in addition to yourself believing in your concept, and really take the time to see it through. Because while you may be wondering, why am I not reaching more people? Why don't I have more followers? Why aren't more people buying my product? Don't overlook that one person, that 2 people, those 3 people who believed in your business enough to invest in it. Focus on them and figure out how can I reach more people like them, because that's your target audience. So see it through, don't give up, and someone's going to believe in your concept.
Amen to that. Ooh, that's a good. See it through is also an amazing poem, by the way.
Yes, Invictus. Yep.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, when you're up against the trouble, meet it squarely face to face. If you chance at the shoulders, punch your feet and take a brace. It's very try to dodge it. Do whatever you can do. If it looks like I can see it through. All right. That being said, thank you again so much for joining me this evening. I will be talking to you soon. And yeah, nothing but life, peace, blessings, and light, not only just over your business, not only just over you, but also your union, your household, and everything that you touch.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to everyone in the audience. I see Tiffany from the JCS Project is here. No, it was great connecting, and I hope that you'll come through to Pull Up Live on February 25th at District E in the DMV.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Look, and I'll definitely be live streaming there. Like, hey, what's going on?
Let's do it. Yes.
Yeah. And if you need me to host, you can let me know. Or if you already got a host and you need like a backup host, you can let me know. I got you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you, Sarah.
All right. See ya.
You guys, that was amazing. So amazing. It's an absolute honor to have someone who I consider Black excellence, Black history, sit down with us. Please go out there, go cop you some pull-up cards and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the community that you build through that card game. Donate any time, energy, and effort to the JCS Project, and tune in next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another amazing frank conversation with my next guest. Yeah, man. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Peace.